Hi, I'm Shannon Brenton from shannon.com.au. Today I'm here to answer a question which was submitted by John in Surrey Hills, New South Wales, Australia. Great question, John. One I get asked regularly. Basically, John was asking about the amount of reps that need to be performed when weightlifting in order to put on maximum muscle growth. This is full of controversy. You know, different people tell you different things. You know, powerlifters and bodybuilders tell you you've got to lift really heavy for low rep. Other people tell you the other way around. But at the end of the day, John, there is no perfect rep range, mate. And the process of putting on muscle growth is all about progressive overload, which means that we've got to constantly force the adaptative phase of how we train. The minute we get stuck into training the same way all the time, the body will stop adaptation and stop growing. So when we're looking at actually forcing muscle growth here, we're looking at two different kinds of muscle growth. We're looking at sarcoplasmic hypertrophy or growth and myofibrillar hypertrophy. Now, the theory of the process is that the myofibrillar hypertrophy occurs in really low rep training, so the sort of 1 to 5 rep range, whereas the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy occurs in more long-term fatigue states, you know, sort of 12, 15, even higher rep ranges. In stimulating as many muscle fibers as we can, the body needs to really mix up the way we train. And so the answer to your question, John, really falls into what I call, or what is known as non-linear periodization training. Anytime you get caught into consistent blocks of training the same way, that will need to be mixed up. So some people choose to train myofibrillar hypertrophy, that 1 to 5 rep range for 6 to 8, even 10 weeks at a time. They're mixing that up into, you know, different rep ranges that might be high or medium rep ranges. I find personally, John, that non-linear periodization is the best kind of training style I've found. I've applied it to numerous athletes, both amateur and professional, and found I've got the best result. Basically, this means that week in, week out, you are mixing up the amount of reps that you train. So week 1, for instance, is typically forcing that myofibrillar growth, so looking at low repetitions, anywhere between that sort of 1 to 5. Just to make it easy, mate, I normally sort of look between 3 and 5 reps for that week 1. Week 2, we're looking more at sarcoplasmic stimulation, which would be that 12 to 15 rep range. And then week 10, we go into that mid-cycle training where we're looking at that 6 to 10 range. And then once again, week 4, week 5, week 6 follows the same way. So week 4 would be the same as week 1, week 5 the same as week 2, and week 6 the same as week 3, etc., etc. This way the body never gets caught into this process where it's always training the same way. It continually advances, it continually grows, and you get maximum stimulation. Best part is too, John, that it keeps you interested, mate. If you always train the same way, it becomes very, very, very tedious. So the benefit of this is, you know, you've got a really heavy week followed by a moderately high repetition week, which is straight away a thing that keeps your mind on the job, keeps you interested, and makes training fun. Other factors to consider, John, obviously nutrition. That's a very, very important part. Time under tension, so how much time you spend, during the concentric and eccentric lifting phase. They're both really important, but that wasn't your question for today. We'll cover that in another video response. If you'd like a question answered yourself, simply get onto shannon.com.au, submit a question, and I'll get to it. Thanks, guys.